Christians, why are, quote, Christians supporting a nation that will literally just annihilate journalists? What makes me want to leave this country is this. This is what gives me the ick. This is what makes me not want to spend the rest of my life here. Pentagon requests $200 billion for Iran war. Hegseth confirms it takes money to kill bad guys. Well, you pay a hegseth. Why do we gotta pay American taxpayers?
Nobody does sacrifice like we do. We did it for you, sir. Believe me, Val, it's huge.
More.
Attacks were reported against Nahariya and admitted. The rocket attacks were reported against Nahariya and admitted.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is a war crime caught on camera. Israel's attacking journalists in Lebanon, and that's definitely not the first one. He was fortunate not to die. His name is Steve Sweeney, and somebody put in the comments explaining probably why he didn't die, because Israel just doesn't really miss like that. So here we go. Sean Kelly says, Excalibur precision munition. They were likely watching you with a drone to get your real-time coordinates. Had the shell hit the bridge instead of going through the hole, see this hole's in the bridge right here. So it seems like the shell went through the hole. So had the shell hit the bridge instead of going through the hole and detonating below, your remains would likely have been beyond identification. That just sounds brutal, y'all. But that's how they are, which was the plan. And so they literally screenshotted the shell coming. And if this hole wasn't there, he probably would have been annihilated. So let's hear what he has to say. He says, today Israel tried to kill me in a targeted missile airstrike in southern Lebanon. As I was reporting on was the targeting of bridges and the forced displacement of 1 million people, an ethnic cleansing operation on a larger scale than the Nakba. I have absolutely no doubt that this was deliberate, despite claims there was no warnings ahead of the strike and no notifications sent to the Lebanese army who allowed us to film. As we have seen in Gaza, they want to silence journalists who document and report their war crimes. It is the Western powers who provide political and military support for Israel, arming, literally censoring himself when it comes to Israel. This guy is scared. And for good reason. I mean, they literally try to kill him with a missile. Arming, and I mean, you do get censored as well on social media. I got to censor myself as well. But I do find that Israel, just saying the word Israel, does not get censored unless you connect it with certain things. Anyways, continuing. They're not simply complicit, but active participants and should be held accountable for their actions. But they won't be. But if Israel thinks today's strike will silence us and keep us out of the field, they are very, very mistaken.
I guess so. Yeah, well, you've probably all seen the footage of the airstrike that took place in Sur district as we were reporting on the destruction of a bridge. We've been treated in hospital for our injuries. I had a shrapnel wound in my arm, deeply embedded in the muscle here. That's been taken out, and here it is in this pot here. But what I do want to say is that this was a deliberate, targeted attack on journalists. There's no mistake about it. This was an Israeli precision strike from a fighter jet. What we were doing was we were reporting on the attacks on bridges, which is effectively severing South Lebanon from the rest of the country. 1 million people now internally displaced. This is the real story. It's not about us coming under attack as journalists. What we're seeing now and what we were reporting on is this plan for Israel to ethnically cleanse the south of Lebanon. This is without doubt an attack. This is on the scale or bigger than the scale of the Nakba. This is the forced displacement of 1 million people, which remains a war crime. And also we have to say that attacking journalists is a war crime. Attacking civilian infrastructure is a war crime. But if they think that they're going to silence us, if they think that we're going to stay out of the field, they're very, very much mistaken.
So Christians, why are, quote, Christians supporting a nation that will literally just annihilate journalists? Just reporting. Well, they don't want journalists reporting. They don't want journalists reporting on their war crimes. That's how the devil operates. Basically, an evil bully who wants to dominate and control everything and everybody. They don't want the truth and information getting out there about their criminal behavior. They want to seem like a good guy. And therefore, that is why they have killed so many journalists. So this post says, Israel has killed more journalists in Gaza than all journalists killed in the American Civil War, World War I, II, Korean, Vietnam, and Bosnian wars combined. 210 journalists have been killed in Israel's war on Gaza. I haven't verified this, but I do not doubt it, y'all. It's too much to even zoom in. That is crazy. If this fact is true, that's absolutely insane. But I don't doubt it. Yeah. We were forced to believe that terrorists look like this. Now the world knows the real face of terrorism. Won it. Reward $100 million to alias the groom, Benjamin Netanyahu, alias the bride, Donald Trump. Crimes against humanity. Exactly. So now I want to play you this AI clip. I think Iran made this, but it pretty much sums up what they're doing.
We sacrificed 168 beautiful, innocent school. The best. Tremendous sacrifice. Nobody does sacrifice like we do. We did it for you, sir. Believe me, Bao, it's huge.
More. I want more!
Bibi Netanyahu has, but oh, that's funny. And then, y'all, somebody caught this on Fox News. The American flag is merging with the flag of Israel, the wicked star of Remphan here, the satanic symbol. Did you guys see this? Fox is merging America's flag with Israel's. I mean, I was thinking about this today, y'all. America, we still have freedoms here. Like, it's still more free than other nations. Most other nations, we can have weapons to defend ourselves. And currently, we still have that. I don't know how long it's going to last, but we still have that. And we still have certain freedoms that many other countries don't have. And I was just thinking how it's sad for me to think that I do not feel comfortable wanting to stay in my own home country, my own birth country for the rest of my life because of freedoms diminishing and my tax dollars going to somewhere that I don't want to go. That is funding ethnic cleansing and wicked stuff. I love the people here. I love the different states. I love the different geography here. I love some of the food here. But me at 34, wanting to leave my home country that I've been so ingrained into and comfortable in and pictured myself living here in old age, that is changing my mind. Like my mind's just has switched off of that because of the evils that it is in bed with. And seeing our freedoms being limited. I think what's caused just the most ick about just thinking about this country and where it's going is how the U.S. government and politicians is merging with the identity and the goals of Israel. And it's the picture that's literally on that flag. Going back to Fox News here. The picture of what I despise about America and what makes me want to leave this country is this. This is what gives me the ick. This is what makes me not want to spend the rest of my life here, raise a family here, and give my tax dollars to this nation. I absolutely hate this. It makes me sick thinking about it because, again, I love this land. I grew up here, and I just never would have thought an American-bred man, America first, wants to leave this country and go to a country with less freedoms in different ways because most other countries you're not able to carry guns for self-defense. Most other countries in the world, you can't do that. I'm thinking about going to Greece. I don't think you could do that in Greece. I think maybe only for hunting, but not for self-defense. And so it's like I'll be losing certain things that I have here if I go to another country, but it's like I think it's even worth it if I stop supporting this. For me personally, I'm not going to say you're a bad person if you stay in America. No, I'm not going to go that far. But for me personally, I mean, I'm just feeling the need that I really want to leave. Like if I have the means to leave, if I have the money to leave, and that's really the thing that you need to move to a different country. Well, you need the finances, the ability to, get a visa that you need as well. But finances is a big part of that. Like if you have money in this world, you have so much options, basically. If you don't have money, I mean, you're kind of forced to stay where you are, You can't even move to a different city. You just got to stay where you are until you get the money to move. Moving to a different country, that's a big investment. But if you have that, if I have that, I think I'd want to leave this country and go to a country that is not merging with Israel. And I'm talking kind of weird, I think, in this video because this allergy situation in Georgia is horrible. Probably another reason I would want to move, but I mean, there's places in the U.S. that has less allergies because the pollen in Georgia is absolutely terrible in the springtime. If you live anywhere in the Southeast, you probably can relate to that. It's horrible. You can literally see the pollen in the air. You can see it definitely accumulate on the car. It's just a layer of yellow like dust. That's pollen. And pollen, for people who have allergies, it destroys them. And so, yeah. But going back to X, I do want to see some of these comments here because usually the people have good comments about the initial post that I just want to review. The con is real. Tax dollars going to Israel. Israel buys American weapons. Defense contractors lead to profiting massively. Contractors plus mega donors fund politicians. Politicians keep the aid spigot wide open and rinse and repeat. Taxpayers foot the bill while the connected class gets richer and more powerful. And so if I remain in the U.S., and don't go to another country, don't become a resident of another country, I'm literally forced to continue to pay taxes here. Like forced to. You can't evade taxes. I mean, you could try to if you get paid under the table, but if you don't get paid under the table, the money's reported to the IRS. There's no running from that. The only way to avoid taxes in the U.S. is to get paid under the table, where the money is not reported. If it's reported anyway to the IRS, you can't avoid it because they're going to find you in one day, maybe not this year, maybe not the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, but they're going to come knocking at some point in the future and you'll owe them a nice big fat bill and they can levy your bank account and garnish your wages. They can do that. So only way to avoid taxes is to get paid under the table. So pretty much right here, what you see right here, we know what's happening here, folks. BB's on the main seat in the Oval Office with the flag right there. You know, I wouldn't doubt one day soon the Israeli flag would be in the Oval Office. I wouldn't doubt it. It's a scary thought. And then Trump is over here sitting here playing with his little toys, his battleship toys. I mean, this is whoever made this picture, like it just explains the situation pretty much entirely. We did not declare independence and fight a revolution to come under the control of Israel. Israelis, Americans. That's the way it is. Israel controls America through AIPAC and Americans know it. Yeah, Bibi and Trump right here. Who made this? They both welcome today in Kuwait. What is this? Is that real?
Down! Close! Close! No, no! What's happening? Oh my God!
Gotta be AI. I hope this is AI. I would think that would have to be AI. Another greatly designed picture right here. Make America Great Again hat. Soldiers coming in. Coffins coming out. Make Israel great again. Gay again, basically. I think this is a good thumbnail right here. What do you think? Somebody designed that image. I don't know who it was, but it makes for a good thumbnail. So let's zoom back out. Is that supposed to be Trump or Bibi? I mean, you can't really tell these days. And so what do we got going on here with Pete Hegseth? Pentagon requests $200 billion for Iran war. Hegseth confirms it takes money to kill bad guys. Well, you pay a Hegseth. Why do we got to pay American taxpayers? Why? Funny how the bad guys never invade other countries, and the good guys haven't skipped a year of bombing somebody since 2000.
$200 billion. I think that number could move. Obviously, it takes money to kill bad guys. So we're going back to Congress and our folks there to ensure that we're properly funded for what's been done, for what we may have to do in the future, ensure that our ammunition is...
You know, as he's making this speech, it just reminds me like why I want to move and be an expat, an expatriate from America. Like, just hearing this, like, I love this land so much, but it's so sad. It's almost like you're dating somebody that you have great memories with. Let me put this back on full screen. You're dating somebody, you have great memories with them, but they're just acting a fool and you can't handle it anymore. Like, it's up to here. You're up to here with it. The pain factor is too high for you to stay with this person, but you have great memories with them. You could even say you love them and you have a heart for them at least. But they're just doing something that you cannot remain in that relationship because of they're doing something and they're acting a certain way. And it's just not worth that cost in mental health and in your happiness as an individual. And so you decide, I need to break up with this person Because yes, we have great memories. I have a heart for them. I care for them. But this person is going to put me in the ground. They're going to ruin me if I continue staying with this person. And that's kind of how I feel with America. Great memories. I care about America and the people here. But if I have the ability to, the means to, I want to leave. I want to leave. I'm really considering Greece. There's problems with Greece too, but I don't see that it's even comparable to what America is doing. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. If you are an American patriot and you love this land, you love this country, would you, if you have the means, I'm really curious, would you consider going to a different country yourself? If money wasn't an option, like you had all the means to leave and go to any country you wanted to, would you leave the U.S.? But let's wrap it up by finishing this Pete Hegseth video. I didn't finish it. I want to see what else he has to say. Whatever it is BS, but
everything's refilled, and not just refilled, but above and beyond. I mean, President Trump, as he said, rebuilt the military in his first term. Didn't think he'd use it as dynamically in his second, but he had. So thank goodness he did that. And
he rebuilt the military?
Investment like this is meant to say, hey, we'll replace anything that was spent. And now that we're reviving our defense industrial base and rebuilding the arsenal of freedom and cutting deals like our great deputy secretaries here is doing, long lead times on exquisite munitions, we're going to be refilled faster than anyone imagined. And I think, we're also still dealing with the environment that Joe Biden created, which was depleting those stockholds.
The right-left divide, that's all they do. Joe Biden caused all the problems. Trump's here to save the day. And then the next administration comes in 2028. Oh, Trump caused all the problems. We're going to save the day. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Democrat, Republican, right versus left, two sides of the same coin. They're both evil. They both serve Israel. Our government is occupied and compromised.
And not sending them to our own military, but to Ukraine, which is every time we reach back and look at any sort of a challenge we have, it goes back to, well, send it to Ukraine. Ultimately, we think this should be these munitions are better spent in our own interests at this point, and this kind of funding bill is going to ensure that we're properly funded going forward. We'll take. I
would hope so. I would hope so. $200 billion would ensure something is going to be funded, but it has to be $200 billion of my money, of your money. And this is what I can't take. Every country has its issues. I think every country has some corruption in government. If I move to Greece, they're going to be using tax dollars for something I won't agree with, admittedly. Like, I would admit that. Any country, I think, is like that. But, you got to pick basically what is the lesser, what you're willing to deal with. Just like talking about going back to relationships, every person is going to have their weaknesses, stuff that you don't like about them, no matter who it is. You may fall in love in the honeymoon season, but eventually you're going to find stuff about somebody you really dislike and that annoys you. They're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Same with countries. No country's perfect. But what are you willing to put up with? I'm kind of at the point in America where I'm like, I don't know if I'm willing to continue to put up with staying in this country for the rest of my life, even though I was born here and I'm comfortable living here and I know I speak the language. It's getting me thinking, I didn't really think about this before previously. Would I want to spend the rest of my life in a country where I have to relearn everything? The language, the customs. It's a big cost. It's a big opportunity cost. You got to spend time and learn this stuff if you move to another country, if you really want to get the most out of it. Just like foreign people who come to America and don't speak the language and don't learn the customs and culture here. They are living in America basically not on the highest level because they don't learn the language and they can't really speak to people and get customer service and speak on the phone to people and get things done efficiently. And so whenever you move to different countries, a huge cost. It's basically a tax of just adjusting and learning to the new culture and the language and customs. But it's like, it's becoming a lot easier to think I'll put up with that rather than put up with what's going on in America right now. So anyways, may the Lord keep you, may he bless you, may he shine his face upon you always and give you peace. Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ and you shall be saved. Amen.